Hello everyone, my name is Kel Sounds, and today I want to show you guys how I created this FutureBass project. I'm going to go ahead and start out with the ARP, because this is the first thing that I started with in the project. So pretty much what I did was I added a square wave and a noise generator, and then I added an aux in a separate group. And so I sent the square wave into the aux, and then I modulated it with the noise generator to kind of blend noise in with the square wave. So it kind of looks like a little fuzzy square wave, and it sounds like this. Then without the noise, it just sounds like a regular square wave. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and then I just went ahead and added some effects. I added a snap heap, did parallel processing with 2 chorus effects, a dynamics filter, and a distortion. Added a shaper table, added a slice EQ, and then I did a little bit of post-processing. So this first snap heap is parallel processing with dual delay. The second snap heap is just a compressor. And the settings on this are actually pretty extreme, so yeah, it's being compressed a lot. And I put it after the delay because I wanted it to bring out the dual delay. I probably could have just put a dynamics in here and did upwards compression. Probably would have been a little bit simpler. And then I added a OTT and then a slice EQ. And that's pretty much it for the ARP sound. And that's also the ARP that's inside of the drop as well. I just did things a little bit differently. Like for the lead, I turned on unison, and then I kind of messed around with the envelope settings as well. But yeah, that is our main lead sound that we started with. And then for these hi-hats, I just dragged and dropped from another session. This is also a hat thingamajig. And then for this bit crush effect, before it goes into the drop, is just a recording of the lead. And then I pretty much just put a redux on this track and automated the rate to kind of get that Porter Robinson sound. And then these claps are just dragged and dropped from a previous sample pack that I made. And then later on in the drop, I actually went ahead and layered it with the snare. But yeah, I just want to show you guys the saws, because that's pretty much the main sound inside of this drop. And as you can hear, it sounds a little bit crunchy. That's because I put distortion on it and kind of just did a little bit of mixing. But pretty much for the super saws, I went ahead and layered 4 sounds together. And so for the first sound, it's just a super saw with 16 voices, and the spread turned up to 50. And the detune really not turned up too much, just by like 10% or so. And then for the saws, I just went ahead and added a multipass and did upwards compression on the highs a little bit. And so that's pretty much the first sound. Oh yeah, this was also automating the filter, but I decided that I wasn't going to automate inside of each individual sound. I was going to do it inside of a group. So I just went ahead and turned that off. Then this is the second sound, and as you can see, I put an EQ 8 on it, and only wanted like the lower mids to come through. And this is a square wave with unison on it, 4 voices, and the detune turned up to like 30% or so. This 3-band EQ isn't doing anything, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And that's pretty much it, actually. And then I put a utility on it to lower down the volume of the sound. Actually, all my MIDI tracks and audio tracks have utilities on them. So instead of me just turning down the volume over here, I can just turn it down inside of the utility, which either or doesn't really matter. It's just preference. But yeah, then the third synth sound. Kind of the same thing. I just threw an EQ 8 on it and EQ'd parts of the sound that I didn't want to come through, And this is also a square wave. Except this time it doesn't have any unison. There's no effects on it or anything, or any kind of post-processing. It's just a square wave. And it kind of blends nicely with the previous synth. Because the first square wave synth has unison and this one doesn't. And then for this last layer here, it's just a singular synth note. And this is a sawtooth wave with 2 distortions on here. And I went ahead and cut out the lows of the sound. There's no post-processing. And I turned down the semi-sent to -12. And for the EQ8, I kind of just lowered down the highs, brought out the lower mids a little bit, and cut the lows again. Oh, this Supersaws 2 thing down here is the same thing as this group, except it's for the second part of the drop, which just has a different rate for the LFO. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this layer for the highs. And then for the bass, it is just a triangle wave with a shaper on it for distortion, and then a filter. Then I added another one and did a cut around 20 Hertz to get a more clean sound. And so after all of the layering, I went ahead and grouped the bass and the highs, did some automation with reverb at certain parts of the track as well. Oh yeah, you can definitely hear the distortion inside of this snap heap. Yeah, I wanted it to be more like crunchy. It kind of loses a little bit of the bass, but combined with the drums, I thought it sounded really good. And let's see what happens if I take off this group. I mean, it still sounds pretty good both ways, honestly. But yeah, anyways, inside of this snap heap, I added a gain to automate the volume with an LFO. And then this snap heap isn't doing anything. I'm gonna actually delete that. And then I have a shaper table with the distortion, slice EQ, did a high pass cut around 20 Hertz. And did a cut around 250 Hertz to get rid of some of the muddy frequencies, and then I just turn up the highs a bit. Then after everything, I turned down the gain of the sound by -1 decibels, or around there. But without the shaper table, it's not adding that crunch to the sound. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Supersaws. And then Supersaws 2, same thing happening, except this time the LFO is at a different speed. And that's pretty much the main thing I wanted to show you guys was the Supersaws for this project. But yeah, before I end the video, I want to let you guys know that this project file is going to be available for free on my website. So the link will be on my YouTube bio. So if you want to head over there and check that out, you can go ahead and download this project file. It'll be called, actually I'll just leave a screenshot of it in the video. But yeah, it was paid, but then I think it would be more useful if it was free for you guys to check out and see what I did inside the project file. So if you want to go ahead and open it up and see like what I did for the drums and the mixing and like the mastering of it, I just figured it'd probably be more useful. But yeah, once again, this project file is going to be available for free on my website, and all you have to do to get there is go to my YouTube bio and click on my website. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.